Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing me to move the amendment to the motion of thanks to the Governor's address under the Rule 15 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the House. Mr. Speaker, sir, it has come to the observation that His Excellency the Governor has spoken about many programs and policies which has been implemented for the progress of our state. As per our observation, he has missed out on some important policies which I would like to highlight. Mr. Speaker, sir, while addressing the House, the Governor has failed to mention about illegal immigration which is happening in our state from the neighboring state of Bangladesh. Illegal immigration is a serious threat, not to our state only. It is a serious threat to even to our national security. So I would like to highlight one issue which happened just few days back. On 28th of February, some 6 Bangladeshi nationals were arrested, apprehended in Jengjal police outpost, which happens to be under my constituency. So it's very scary, sir, that such things are happening. Bangladeshi nationals are being facilitated by our own Indian people. So there has to be some policy to keep a better watch on the borders of our Meghalaya, because we all know Bangladesh is going through a very tough time these days, and the people from Bangladesh, they are trying to sneak into our territory, and we share a very long boundary with Bangladesh. And there is another issue which needs to be highlighted, and a special policy has to be framed, that is on influx from other states. People from other states, from our own India, they are coming to our state Meghalaya, and they have already captured our tertiary sector here in Meghalaya. So capturing the tertiary sector, which is giving services to people in our Meghalaya, is like snatching away our rights, our employment rights to the people from our state. So there has to be some policy to check on those influx who are coming from other states. ILP, it has been demanded by several NGOs. When I was in the NGO before, we also demanded for the implementation of ILP, but it's a national, center subject. So as I came to know, I'm fully aware that state government has already pushed for ILP implementation. But in the meantime, we should strengthen the MRSSA to check on the influx. And in the sector of agriculture, the governor has missed out on one important issue: to plant protection, to enhance the plant protection policy in our state, which is already in place, but it is not being implemented properly. So even in my constituency, we are dependent in areca nut plantation. Our economy is dependent on areca nut plantations only. So in these days, areca nut plantation is being affected by a disease called bird rot disease. So large-scale destruction of areca nut plantations is happening in my own constituency. Not only in my constituency, it is happening all over Garo Hills. I don't know about Khasi Hills region or Jaintia Hills region, but it may be happening in the Khasi Hills and Jaintia Hills region also. But since I came from Garo Hills, I'm speaking about Garo Hills only. So there has to be some policy to contain the disease from further spreading. Otherwise, these people, the farmers, they are suffering. These days, they are taking out their children from private schools, and they are getting them admitted into government schools because they cannot afford to pay the fees. And sometimes they are coming to me and they are asking my help also in this. But we don't have the additional fund to give them for the admissions and other education related problems. So there should be some policy at place. Actually, there is a policy at place about plant protection, so it has to be strengthened so that the farmers can get the necessary aid from the government. Now, in my constituency, it used to be full of greenery, full of plantations of arecanut. But since it's dying down, nowadays people, they have started saying that our MLA has no hair on his head. Now our arecanut is also dying. Jokes apart. Anyway, and I would like to put one of the observations which I have during the governor's address. That is, he missed out on high cost of healthcare facilities and negligence to the common people in getting the basic treatment. See, the rural people, the poor people, the common men, they are coming to the hospitals, to the government hospitals for basic treatment these days. But they are always being referred to the private clinics or some private hospitals for better treatment. They are being told that you go for better treatment. If you want a better treatment, you should go to that private hospital. You should visit that private clinic, which is very concerning. The poor people, they cannot afford to pay huge amounts for their treatment. To tell you one example, I'll take my example. In 2022, when I was an MLA, I was admitted in one government hospital for gallstone surgery to be done. I was there for 6 days, but nothing happened. The hospital authority, they informed me that the doctor is busy conducting operations somewhere in private hospitals. So I asked the doctor to let me go if the problem is not that serious. And the doctor told me, yeah, it's not serious, you can come back later and you can go. So I came out from the hospital, and after I got elected in the month of April in 2023, I had the severe pain from my gallstone. So I had to get admitted again. And the very next day, I got admitted in a private hospital. The very next day, after the admission in the hospital, I got operated. So what is really happening? What is really happening? In government hospitals, the people who doesn't have the position or the ranks in the society, they are being neglected. They are being neglected. So there should be some policy to check on all these issues. And the other important issue which I am going to mention about, as per my observation during the address of the governor, is the measure to ensure transparency and accountability. Even in my constituency, some people, some organization leaders, they filed an RTI regarding the implementation of the GGM, but they couldn't get the reply in time. It was already 3 months, but they were not getting the reply. If such things are happening in our state, and if the departments who are responsible for implementation of these projects are denying the reports, then how can there be accountability? So I request the government of the day to take note of these issues, and there is one thing which I have observed as the measure to provide immediate relief to the affected in natural calamities. Last year there was flash flood in my area also. 21 families were affected, but for up to 5 days there was no relief provided. I called the administration, but it was delayed. So I think I know there is already one policy there regarding the district disaster management. There is ample power given to the district administration to look after all these things, but it is not being implemented properly, I think. So I had to arrange from my own pocket to clear the landslides also. I tried to contact the administration, but they were playing a blame game on them. So it doesn't fall under my department, so you can contact that department if you don't mind. They were saying like that. When I contacted that department also was showing some excuse. So these are the observations which needs to be immediately addressed so that the common people doesn't suffer anymore in the near future. And there is one thing about education, on the education sector. Education infrastructure is also lagging behind. And just few days back, the Minister for Donor, he has also stated that Meghalaya is lagging behind in quality education. That is very shameful for our state, that a union minister has noticed and observed that the Meghalaya, our state, is lagging behind in quality education. So in order to give the quality education, training to the teachers, not only the training to the teachers is important, but timely payment of salaries is also required for the teachers. These days teachers are not getting timely payment, and sometimes, if they are not getting the timely payment, they are compelled to work somewhere to run the family. Otherwise, how they will run the family without getting the salaries? So these are the observations which I have made, and with these observations, I ask whether the government can give me commitment or assurance to look into all these issues. With this few submission, I resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you.